You know that feeling? When you're just completely overloaded, everything in you is shouting, stop. But
Yeah.
somehow you still hear yourself saying yes again.
Oh, definitely. It's like
Yeah.
this invisible force almost.
Yeah. And I think maybe especially for women, there's often this expectation to be the one who says yes, the helper,
Yeah.
the one who just shows up no matter what.
It's so deeply rooted, isn't it? This idea that our value is somehow connected to how much we accommodate others.
Exactly.
It pops up everywhere. Work projects, school stuff, even just feeling bad for wanting a night off.
It really hit home for me when I was reading about Michelle Obama. She was on Taraji P. Henson's podcast, IMO, recently.
Oh, yeah. What was she discussing?
Well, she was talking about her decision, not to go to President Trump's inauguration. And her reasons were much more personal than I'd ever really thought about.
That's interesting because you'd maybe assume it was purely political, right?
Right. But she framed it very differently. The CBS News piece we looked at really emphasized this. She said it wasn't about politics, it was a deliberate choice for herself, something she'd actually been working on in therapy.
Therapy. About saying no.
Yeah, about feeling okay saying no and about recognizing, that she'd done her part. She actually said, I have done enough, which, wow.
That's quite a statement, especially for someone in her position. I have done enough.
Absolutely. And think about the context of a former first lady skipping something like an inauguration. It's a big deal.
It would definitely raise eyebrows.
For sure. And the article mentions she faced ridicule and criticism, even those wild rumors about her marriage popping up again.
Ugh, yeah. That just shows the kind of intense pressure and scrutiny, doesn't it? Especially for women in the public eye.
Totally. It highlights how hard it can be to just prioritize yourself when everyone expects something else.
Like she said, going against what's perceived as right, to do what feels right for you. That takes real effort. There's this pull to just stick to the script.
Yeah. And I found that little story she told about deliberately not wanting a dress ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she could sort of trick herself out of it. That felt so relatable.
How so?
Well, it's like she knew the pressure to just go along would be so strong, she had to actively remove the option. Don't we all do that sometimes in smaller ways? Avoid situations where we know we'll feel obligated.
That's a great point. It wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment thing. It was a conscious tactic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Taraji P. Henson's take on it was just perfect. She used this phrase, shock absorbers.
Shock absorbers.
Yeah.
For women.
Yeah. Describing women as shock absorbers and saying how exhausting and frankly unhealthy that is.
Wow. That's a really vivid way to put it.
Yeah.
Constantly buffering everything for everyone else.
Right. It really paints a picture. And Henson pointed out that Michelle Obama had basically been that shock absorber for her husband, the country.
For 8 years, under intense scrutiny.
And then she asked this really key question. When do you ever get to live for you? It really makes you pause.
It absolutely does. And, taking it beyond the inauguration itself, her experience taps into something much bigger, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, this pressure to absorb everyone else's needs and expectations. That's not unique to first ladies. So many people listening right now probably feel that sense of being depleted by it all.
That's true. And what I found really encouraging was that she admitted saying no is still a work in progress for her. It's not like she just flipped a switch.
Right. It's an ongoing practice.
And she also mentioned wanting to set a different kind of example for her daughters, Malia and Sasha. That felt like a really powerful driver for her.
It's about breaking that cycle, isn't it? Showing the next generation that boundaries aren't selfish. They're actually, vital.
And her comment about the crazy bar set by women before.
Yeah.
That constant need to prove yourself, to always go high, even when things are tough. It's a lot. Often maybe too much.
It's an incredibly high standard, often completely unsustainable.
So her advice to just start practicing saying no earlier on to build that muscle, that feels really practical.
It really does. Because it's often not something we're naturally good at, is it? Especially if you've been sort of conditioned to put others first all the time.
Definitely not innate for many of us.
It's about shifting your thinking, really. Realizing your own needs matter just as much. And her point that, people can handle no.
That's huge.
It is. And that the world doesn't stop just because you set a boundary. Often, the fear of what might happen disappointing someone, missing out, is way bigger than the reality.
It really does make you reflect on your own life, doesn't it? I mean, think about, have you ever just agreed to something When every fiber of your being wanted to say no?
Oh, countless times.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That sense of obligation
Yeah.
or just not wanting to cause friction.
Yeah, or letting someone down.
And that shock absorber feeling. I
Uh-huh.
bet a lot of you listening can relate to that, whether it's at home or work or, in your community.
Mm-hmm. These unspoken rules about who steps up, who takes on more. But the crucial thing to remember, and what this whole story really underlines, is that setting those boundaries, it isn't selfish.
Not at all. It's basic self-care, isn't it?
It's protecting your energy, your time, your mental health, really.
Precisely.
Yeah.
If you bring it back to Michelle Obama's situation, yes, it's unique, very high profile, but the core message is universal. Looking after your own needs isn't some kind of indulgence.
Right.
It's actually essential if you want to function well and, be there for others in a sustainable way long term.
So I guess the main takeaway here is seeing someone like her, who's dealt with unimaginable pressure, come to this really clear understanding about needing boundaries. Her decision about the inauguration wasn't just about that one day.
No, it sounds like it was about drawing a line, a conscious choice for her own well-being after years of giving so much.
Yeah. And her message really is quite empowering, isn't it?
Yeah,
That it's okay. It's okay to say no.
it is. And that it takes practice, like any skill. But honoring your limits is what allows you to actually show up authentically for the things that truly matter to you.
So maybe something for you listening to think about. Is there one specific thing, this one area in your life right now where practicing saying no might actually be beneficial?
Like one small request you could maybe decline.
Yeah, exactly. Something small that you could say no to that would maybe free up a bit of energy or space for something that feels more important to you right now.
It's interesting to consider how even one small no could potentially start a bigger shift, couldn't it? Towards better well-being overall.
Definitely something to mull over.